Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism and narcissistic relationships. One thing that often comes in that people are asking us about is a lot of worry after watching this channel. Maybe I'm the narcissist, maybe I'm the one who's behaving badly. Some people watching this channel, in fact, I think it's wonderful if you actually are questioning that in yourself. But don't question it for the wrong reasons. For folks who are saying taking accountability, it's a courageous step. But for some people are using this label against themselves for things that might be stretching the pieces, or are being told by the narcissist that they're narcissistic. So here's the question that came up, is that people are saying, hey, I sometimes treat people badly. I actually hate this about myself. I'm aware I'm doing it. But oh my God, does this make me narcissistic? Let's take this one apart. Like I said, more than a few people sent in this question, and I've seen this pop up in different places. So maybe the question here is everyone who treats other people rudely or badly narcissistic? And the answer to that is no. So let's break this down. Narcissism is a personality style. A gentle reminder, and I will say this again and again, narcissism is not a diagnosis. It's a personality style. Other personality styles are things like agreeableness, antagonistic, openness, neurotic, introverted. All of these are styles. Narcissism is just one thing on that list. Some of these styles make for healthier relationships, for example, agreeableness, but they are just styles. The more flexible a person is, the healthier they are. So you can have flexible introverts, people who might prefer the time alone or solitude or avoiding the crowds, but can rally when it is important to others or to themselves. Personality styles are consistent, meaning that this is largely who we are. Agreeable people are agreeable. Do they sometimes have a snippy day? Absolutely yes. Neurotic people are neurotic. Do they sometimes do things that feel fearless and bold and courageous? Yes. But more days than not, our personalities dictate how we are going to be, and they make us a little bit predictable, which is not a bad thing. Introverted people are not likely to be standing in line to be the first one at the new hotspot. Agreeable people are likely to step in and help you out. Your stubborn friend is likely to grind in their heels, and you know that going in. The same is true of narcissism, but it's trickier because more days than not, they're going to do something mean, manipulative, invalidating, or gaslighty. Narcissistic people do have a lot of good days and moments. That is what's driving everyone's confusion. But when the rubber meets the road, and for some reason they feel unsafe, or angry, or disappointed, or frustrated, or stressed, or like they're not getting enough attention, they will strike. A cobra is never going to coil up in your lap and take a nap. It's just not how it works. So back to the question. I hear from folks who say, listen, sometimes I'm not a nice person. I do get snippy and nasty and ick, and I feel awful right away. They'll say that they apologize right away. They feel bad. They'll want to make it right. They try to do right away. People who feel this way, they'll wish that they didn't do it, that they didn't say it. They're angry at themselves. They feel bad that they did it. They feel bad for the other person that they did it. And they hope that the other person isn't too hurt by their sort of mean behavior. And listen, folks who do this may do it again. But at the moment they do it, the moment they feel bad and they recognize it's not okay. Here is the key. If you are a person who is sometimes, more often than you would like, not nice, you can be reactive and strike when someone says something to you. You can sometimes say things that are not nice. But you recognize almost right away that it's not nice, and you attempt to apologize, take ownership non-defensively, and are able to be accountable. That doesn't sound like narcissism. For some folks, a history of trauma can sometimes result in that kind of reactivity, a sort of quick response at times of perceived threat. Now, let's face it, that behavior in the long term is not sustainable because it does take a toll on others. After a while, the apologies are simply not enough. But that awareness of the behavior, the accountability, the attempt to address it, again, non-defensively, that doesn't track with narcissism. In general, narcissistic people do not see their behavior as a problem. They are so firmly entrenched in their rightness and may even believe that they are great people who have tons of empathy that it feels almost delusional. If they are snappy and reactive, the narcissistic person will be more likely to blame the other person. Apologies will be hollow, things like, "I'm sorry you feel that way." They will never take ownership. And if you do attempt if you do attempt to get them to apologize, they will rage at you and gaslight you. So for those of you who say, "I sometimes don't like how I am. In fact, I am not always nice and I say these not nice things. And in fact, I feel like my behavior looks like the behavior of the narcissistic person in my life sometimes," take a step back and ask yourself about self-awareness, accountability, empathic awareness, and the willingness to take responsibility. If you see it, that's a good sign that you are not narcissistic per se. It is a wake-up call, though, to work on mindfulness, on behavioral regulation, considering therapy, especially trauma-informed therapy. All of these are useful tools. Listen, if a person's not narcissistic, these tools are not likely to work, or any change is not likely to be sustainable. When we perceive any of our patterns to be similar or analogous to those of the narcissistic people around us, can actually be quite devastating, because it's the last thing we want to be to someone else. However, if you are catching yourself in it, you genuinely feel uncomfortable or bad about your behavior and want to take ownership, don't sweat the idea that you are narcissistic. Instead, think about addressing your behavior and your mindfulness. Don't get so caught in like, "Oh my gosh, this is what I am," because when we think we might actually be fully narcissistic, we may even be discouraged from making a change. Really be self-reflective on your behavior. And frankly, if you are narcissistic and hearing this, listen, it's just about doing the work, about putting your head down, being mindful and aware, and not feeling contempt for the very real emotional experiences that other people are having. Thanks again.